Hello, writing friends, and welcome to a productive week in the life of a fantasy author. If you're new here, hi, I'm Joanna, and I am a self-published mommy author of Christian fantasy. Today is Monday, June 1st. Don't you just love when the month starts on a Monday? It's like the cleanest, freshest start ever. Anyways, today is Monday, and I have a lot to do this week, and I want to bring you guys with me as I wrap up a brand new project, keep going on another, and have a special surprise right in the middle. So let's get started. So for the week, I have three main goals. The first goal is to prep and release my new reader magnet for my newsletter, which is, I can't wait to tell you about that part. Second goal is to attend my first ever author event. And the third goal will be, as always, to just continue trucking on with Beneath the Curse of Six, which is the book that I'll be releasing later this year. So let's look at all of those goals and the tasks that are going to be needed for each, and then let's just dive right into the work because I am so ready. What is the reader magnet? First of all, if you are unfamiliar with the term, reader magnet is literally just what it sounds like. It is some kind of a free product that people will give through their newsletter to people when they subscribe. Authors will oftentimes do this through things like short stories and even sometimes free full-length novels. I've seen people do that. I will not be giving away 50,000 words worth of free material, even though theoretically I guess I could, but I am going to be releasing a novella, which is just a short novel. Currently it is sitting at 22,000 and something words. I have it somewhere, but it's pretty decent length, little novel. And it is also a young adult fairy tale retelling, as is the series that I'm working on, that first book that's getting released. It's actually, for those of you who have been here a while, you'll remember, I had three other fairy tales that I wanted to retell in mini-series like Beneath the Curse of Six, which is part of Swan Song. That's the Wild Swans and the Six Swans retold together in a series. I ended up having to scrap those because it just wasn't the time, set them aside for another season. And then lo and behold, I realized early this year, I think it was February when I started drafting it, that I really wanted to have a young adult story, like a full complete story, as my reader magnet for my newsletter, my author newsletter, so that people, when they came in and subscribed, they would get something that gave them a taste of my writing, but in a way where like, oh, that was, like 1 or 2 chapters, whatever. But no, I get a free book. Wow, I like that they can sit down and read the whole book. They've gotten maybe even more than they thought that they would for free. And it would entice them, hey, maybe, if I like this writer's style and I like the kind of story that they tell, I would want to come back for more. So that's kind of why I chose to do this. And it just fit so perfectly. As soon as I decided to do it, I had 2 ideas pop into my head. And one of them I do plan on using eventually later. I will probably have a number of shorter stories. I don't really do short stories, but shorter novels that I will be producing over the next few years, just as I have like smaller projects that I'd like to release. And probably most of those will either be free or like super inexpensive ebooks. But this particular project is the one that I decided on, and it fits so perfectly. It was the third, I think, fairy tale that I wanted to retell. I fell in love with the characters, I fell in love with the story, and I was so sad I couldn't devote the time that it would take to write a full series on it. But writing, 22,000 words, I could sit down and do. Like I said, I started drafting this in February. I took off most of April and all of May, except for like 2 days, the last 2 days of May. And I still managed to get it done, and it's honestly in pretty decent condition for starters. But that's the whole spiel behind the fairy tale. Oh, and I have a title for it. It is White Hart. Hart is H-A-R-T, because it's the story of it's not the main character, but it's a story about a princess who gets transformed into a white deer during the day. And it's really about the girl who has to figure out the way to break the curse and save the kingdoms and all the things. I have already printed it off. You can see. It's been a while since I've been able to print off like a full story, let alone this short. That's nice. This is like half of what Beneath the Curse of Six was before I started the structural rewrite, which now it's probably going to be a little longer, unfortunately. Anyway, the tasks that go along with this are going to be editing it down, make sure that I get rid of typos and grammar issues, make sure that all the word choices are what I want, the usual stuff. I still have to come up with a name for the capital city of one of the countries because I just forgot about that. So anyways, I have to do that. Then I need to format the book I have a friend who's going to be helping me with that, and I basically have to come up with the front material, back material, and tell her like fonts and stuff that I want for it. I have to finalize the cover. Yes, I am making the cover. I figured since it is a book that I'm giving away for free, I probably should not spend $250 on a cover. And then I ended up coming up with an idea that I loved so much, and I threw it together and with quite a bit of work. And then I shared it with some writer friends, and they were like, well, with just some tweaking, this could actually be a really nice cover for like a free book. So I need to finish the cover, and then I need to redo my landing page, which is where people get sent when they click on your link for your newsletter. I need to redo that so that it says this is what they're getting. And then I need to get a new email set up so that when they sign up and they've gone through the landing page and they've given me their email, this is now the material that they get as their freebie material. I also really would like to do emails for my current subscribers to release the cover, to send the book to them before it goes out with the newsletter, like as the reader magnet, because they're supposed to get stuff first. It ended up getting all kind of crunched together because of the month that I've had, which will be part of the personal updates and that other video we will get to at some point. But those are the basic tasks. It is a lot to do, and I'm trying to get them all done by Wednesday night, because Thursday is my second goal, which is my first ever author event. It's such a small event. It's a little summer reading program kickoff party at a very small community library. And I say very small as in the library itself, like size-wise, is very small. But honestly, there are probably gonna be quite a few people there. And I already know many of them, or know of many of the people that will be coming, like the families and stuff. And many of the families that have kids in the age range of my two books, my middle grade fairy tales, are going to be attending. So I'm real excited. I get to have a table and sell a few books. I am not expecting to sell many. From what I have talked with other authors, library events like this are not the place to really sell books so much as just have conversations. But I am bringing like 5 copies of each of my books to have at the table just in case someone wants to buy them. But mostly I'm going to be focusing on getting people to sign up for the newsletter for the books that are coming. And of course now for the free book. So that's why I'm rushing to get everything done now. And Thursday is that day. I need to make sure that I have everything all set up. The only materials that I'm really waiting on are some bookmarks that I ordered. I'm really hoping to get here on time. I kind of procrastinated on those. And then I need to make sure that I have what I need for the table, that I have a good chair, and that I have plans for the 2-year-old. The other 3 will probably be busy doing their own thing at the library, but I need to make sure I have plans for the 2-year-old in case I don't think my husband's going to be able to come because he has something else that night. We'll have to see. Anyways, those are the first 2 goals. And then, like I said, the third goal is literally just doing as much as they can on Beneath the Curse of Six. I am now just over halfway through the manuscript. I believe that I have 10 chapters left to go, and the majority of these chapters don't have a ton of first draft material, but the intense amount of new material that went into the first half is going to inform all of the things in the second half, and I am definitely going to have to do more editing in the second half than I had originally thought I was going to. I still have 2 full months before I have to turn this manuscript over to the professional editor for the copy edit, but I would like at the time to do 2 full passes on it again after this to make sure that everything is where it needs to be, like a full read through and then like nitpicking editing to make sure that this is the best condition that it can be before it goes off to readers. And I'd like to do that before the edit so that I don't have to do anything afterwards besides proofread. So today's goals, I don't have much time. It's already almost 3 o'clock. And so I think I only have about half an hour to 45 minutes really I can work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend that time doing a read through with highlighters. I'm going to only highlight stuff that needs to be remembered or that like needs to be tracked throughout the story rather than like going line by line. I'm going to wait and just go ahead and do that in the document as I read back through it and put in things, but just underline stuff for sure that needs to be addressed, whether that be names that I forgot or lore that needs to be included or better descriptions or whatever. Like I need to just make sure from a reading standpoint that it's good, and I'd like to do it from paper rather than on a screen because I've been trying to get away from screens as much as I can, especially around the kids. So during the daytime, if I don't have to be on my computer, I try not to be, but also because this helps me. And it's just, it puts me in a completely different frame of mind when I sit down with paper and pens to write than when I'm sitting at the laptop. So I'm going to do this afternoon, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be finalizing details on the cover tonight. but we will see. We'll see how things go and how tired I am. So let's get to it. Also, I do think it's hilarious. Everybody and their mother on AuthorTube is drinking different matchas. I don't do matcha, but I do have a green drink. So we'll pretend that my green drink is matcha for the sake of consistency across AuthorTube, I guess. So I could literally only find these three little Sharpie highlighters. So I guess that's what I'm going to have to work with. I think I'm going to go with orange is anything that I need to keep track of that like is going to come back in the story. Blue will be to highlight anything that's glaringly wrong and needs to go out. And then pink, I think, will be like character moments that I need to expound on and make a little bit more intense, like more emotion and more feeling and stuff like that. Cordelia crouched beneath the ferns, praying the patrol didn't hear her panting. The forest around her was so dense with underbrush and vines, only the bright red stripes across the soldiers' dark uniforms and hats gave them away. Their faces were emotionless, and for being so burly they moved with incredible stealth. Cordelia had always heard about the feared Rondor's armies. To see them this close, and when she was trying to avoid them, she felt a little sick. She waited impatiently, her eyes twitching constantly to the quickly darkening sky. I'm right here. I'm right here. Let's go sit. Got Barbies. Yeah. Whee. What? Hello, it is Tuesday. I have my protein heavy snack, which is wonderful. But I'm so excited. I have to show you. I got these in the mail. And I'm going to probably have a different thing to show them on, but just look. I don't know if you can see those. They're bookmarks for my table on Thursday. Oh, this is the one. So sorry. This is a quote from Snow Dust, which is the book that's on it. And then this is a little quote from Little Hood. And it has this one, for some reason, the book looks blurry on the back, but it has the book and a little something, and then my website on the bottom. But I'm so excited. I have bookmarks that we can share. I was so worried I wasn't going to get them until Friday, which, way too late. But when I occasionally will sell signed copies of my books, usually just friends and family or whatever off of Facebook, because I don't have an Etsy store or anything like that. I was sending a bookmark, and I think it was just this one. But now I have one for both books. So if theoretically I wanted to sign copies in the future or go to more book events, now I have one for Snow Dust, one for Little Hood, so I can give away one, I can give away both. And I think I ordered 25 or 30 of each one, something along the lines, maybe it was less. Again, it's not going to be a huge event, so I'm not planning for a ton of people, but this way I could just give these away and be like, yeah, here, take a nice bookmark, because who doesn't want another bookmark? Especially when they're pretty. Anyways, okay, I'm going to stop with the bookmarks. The read-through went amazing. I'm so excited. I did end up doing a little bit more line editing because I couldn't help myself. But I mean, I have full pages with nothing on it. This never happens. I was very, very excited. There was nothing structural that needed to change at all. Huge relief. But there were 3 things about what is happening in the story, particularly who cursed this princess and why. There's an arranged marriage that's been part of the plot, but then why it happened, what's going on with it, and then why it doesn't go through later, that needs to be kind of explained, and then what exactly happened that triggered the axe or the curse, because it got triggered when the princess's skin gets hit by sunlight, that triggers it. And so, but are never really told line by line, okay, this is what they were originally doing, this is why they were doing it, and then this is what happened along their way. So I need to tell those 3 things at some point. I prefer it not to be super info dumpy, but because it is so short, in a longer novel, it tends to be easier to slip things in a little bit here and there. But I mean, it's just short. I don't have a lot of room for that. So what I may have to do is just have someone ask and then someone tell. Like that may literally be how I have to do it, since the like chapter 1 starts a couple of days after the all of these things have already happened. So, but anyways, I didn't work on the cover yesterday, and I'm actually glad I didn't, because I got to show it to a friend today, and they said they liked it the way that it was. I think I'm gonna just look over it again, and either today or tomorrow I'm gonna tweak it. But the main goal today is this. This is my only task for today. I'm going to implement all of these edits. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I mean, it's already 3:30 in the afternoon again. I'm going to implement these edits, and I'm going to see if I can do it in 1 hour. I'm going to give myself an hour, pause, go start supper, and then come back while supper is cooking and try to do the rest. Fingers crossed I can do it. We've got this. We've got this. Let's go. My first sprint is done, and I've already deleted 127 words. Now, I wasn't after like just deleting words this round like I have been in previous manuscripts, but that's still pretty cool that I'm doing that. I've made it through how many chapters? 6 chapters? Yeah, I'm on chapter 6. So just under halfway. There's 13 chapters total right now. Is that okay to do 13 chapters? I don't think anyone will care. Anyways, it's going really well. I'm making it through very quickly, and I think I can do the entire manuscript this 1 hour. That would be amazing, and then I can go back through tonight and do a much more detailed, like line by line, making sure every word is what I want it to be before I send it out to my friend to have it put into the ebook thing. Anyways, that's exciting. Okay, it is now Thursday, and yes, I'm wearing a sweater. The AC kicked on, and for some reason I got cold. I did not bother filming yesterday because honestly, yesterday was a little bit stressful. My toddler has been having some trouble sleeping at night very randomly, and Tuesday night was a night when she just would not sleep. So I did not get through very much of what I was planning on editing at all. And then yesterday, I literally spent after lunch all the way through until right before supper, going through doing edits, and then I worked again after church. I put the kids to bed, and I just kept working until I finally finished it. So yesterday was a little bit stressful, but I ended up getting all of the basic edits and the official line edits done on the book. I sent it to my best friend who did put it together in both an ebook form and a PDF. I'm just going with the PDF for now. It looks amazing. I decided to just go ahead and go with the cover that I had already made, and I will eventually change it. I think I do want to change it and upgrade it a little bit, but for tonight's event, I think it'll be fine. I don't think anyone's going to care. I am now going to work on a couple of things. So this morning I worked. Y'all, I was so stressed out. I did the one thing that I have been avoiding doing for like 6 months. I went in and I fixed my landing page for my newsletter. It is not as intuitive as I would have hoped. I use SendFox. I'm sure that it's the most intuitive version that they could put together, but I am so far from being a tech person, it's not even funny. So I sat down and I was trying to make a brand new landing page with a brand new welcome email, and I had set up, the campaign, I set up this, and I was just like, I was talking back and forth with Google and YouTube and ChatGPT, everything I could find to try and figure out how I was doing it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the original landing page just pops up and lets me completely change everything in there. Bear in mind, I have tried to change and edit that same landing page at least 24 different times. I'm not even exaggerating, between December and now. And every single time I tried to edit, it went to like this unavailable or 403 forbidden page. Like it would not let me edit it. I don't know what changed. If God maybe just reached down and touched it and fixed it for the event, I don't know. But it's fixed. I'm asking no questions, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that I don't have to do it again. I have it set up to where it literally just says, like when you first click on the link, it just says download your free ebook, and then it has like the sign in for your email. So hopefully, as I go through and I add different materials, like different free books as reader magnets, I can just go through and edit the original welcome email, and it'll just let me do that. Fingers crossed it works. Because the ultimate plan is that later on, when I'm finished with the fairy tales, which is going to be quite a while from now, but eventually when I'm finished doing fairy tales, I might do a different novella that would introduce my romantasy duology. I might do a different one later that would introduce the high fantasy epic saga world that I'm working on, and so on and so forth. So I don't know. We'll have to see. The first thing I need to do this afternoon, I have roughly an hour and 45 minutes. Well, maybe more like 2 hours before I have to leave. So I got plenty of time, but I always say that. And then I'm rushing. If I tell myself I don't have time, then I end up being early, and I'd rather be early. So in the little amount of time that I have, I'm going to send out the new book to my existing subscriber list because they technically get it first. I am going to set up and print off. I made a QR code. I was so excited. I feel like a child in a candy store right now. But I used Canva and created a QR code for my newsletter sign up a link. And I'm going to make a beautiful poster with like the white heart cover and some other stuff, like maybe just whatever, and put the QR code on there so people can just do that for signing up for the newsletter rather than trying to make a sign up sheet and stuff. Although I may have that as well for people who aren't as big into phones. I don't know if I should do both. And then I'm going to make an author one potentially with what I, like my author bio and what I'm working on. I have 2 sheets. So what I may do is have like the QR code one may have also at the bottom, like what's coming. So I can put the mock cover for Beneath the Curse of Six on there. I can add, maybe some other things, I don't know. But I'm going to try and put those together. And then the very last thing that I have to do, of course, is box everything up. I have my books, I have my bookmarks. I have to put together some book holders, like book stands, so that I can set the books up on top of the stack of books. I thought that would look nice. And then obviously like print the pages and put them in. So we're this close to being done. And then I have to go like make myself look nice because I don't want to look like this at my first ever author event. I'm going to go fix this. So bear with me. I have no idea what the rest of this vlog is going to look like at this point, but I'm going to get video footage for sure of the event. And yeah, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm not even like nervous. I thought for sure I'd be nervous and anxious, but I think the stress over the landing page just covered everything. And now I'm just so relieved I don't care. Let's get to work. What do you want? Huh? Are you tired of mommy ignoring you? Yes. Oh, yes, the stretching. It's beautiful. Ah. And then this is the sales page. So I have the book covers, little description, and then very simple. I wanted to do something more elaborate, but I literally ran out of time and inspiration. A pair of scissors. Oh, did I run out? Then we'll slide it. You slide it in. Oh my god. I feel so professional. You can tell I've never done anything like this before. Okay. Wow. Okay, so you only need 2. Yeah, I have no idea how this goes together here. Okay, we figured it out. We're gonna do it again. Literally take it like this, you turn it, and then you twist it. And then you push it.
Can I put the book in?
Yes, you can put the book in. So this one is like twice the thick. Oh, wait. So Joanna's being dumb again, I think. No? Yes. Yes. So you put this side, and then that way it kind of leans back. Goodness gracious, this is a thick book. This is a very thick, heavy book in comparison.
Yay!
But yay! Okay, high five. Yes, high fives all around.
Have the white hard book.
All right, let's pack everything up. So, this on the bottom, protect them. We have our 5 copies of Little Hood. 5 copies of Snow Dust. We have our 2 little book holders here. Bookmarks. Our 2 posters. Okay. All right, that's kind of like the main stuff. I'm going to take this so I have something to do on there. Because it's not just going to be talking the whole time. No, those I am keeping. These I am keeping for me to have. And then I just need some cash so that if people want to buy with cash. 1s, 5s, and 10s. Yes, ma'am. All right. Let's go. It's okay. I'm gonna put stuff over it.
3.
Okay, everyone, it is now Friday. We made it through last night. It was a whirlwind. It was so much fun. Shockingly very low stress. Like, I was so grateful for how low stress it was. But we're now past the big event. We got White Heart finished and out through the newsletter. We got through the library event. I sold out of all my copies, which was awesome. Not crazy impressive since I only had 5 copies of each book, but also still impressive. I sold 10 books, and I actually would have had a few more that I could have sold if I had brought more books. But now I am into the end of kind of the week. We're winding down some of our activities, but not all. I have company coming tonight, so I have to go clean all the messes that I have been ignoring since Sunday. And I have a delicious dinner planned. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm not gonna be doing any more writing today. I think that today is just not the best time, but I will very likely be doing a lot of thinking about writing. Because last night was just so inspiring. I was sitting there, and I was getting to talk to people, and I was getting to hand out bookmarks and sign books, and it was so wonderful. And I was thinking, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do for like forever. This is what I want to do. I want to write the books and I want to get them out. The frustration and stress is not as much fun, but when you get to see people pick up your books and you get to hear from people that they liked your books, it means so much. So because I have been thinking about stories all week. Honestly, I just cannot stop thinking about all these different stories, and I'm sure that there will be plenty of things from my brain. I'll technically still be writing. It just won't be like sitting down and writing. It'll be mentally thinking through plot twists and character arcs and all the random fun stuff. So that's what the plan is for today. Tomorrow, the plan will be to do writing. I do not know, though, if it will be at home or if I will go out to write. It will depend on how I feel. I am very drained after yesterday, though. Yesterday, when I got home, I just realized how tired I was. I needed food. My blood sugar was low, and I felt oddly discouraged. I think this is actually kind of normal. I've had this happen in other things that weren't like necessarily a writer event, or some of them that were where you go to an event or you go do something and you get a high in the moment, and then afterward you can get kind of like a bit of a crash. And it did not help. I was talking to someone who very lovingly could not stop talking about the fact that I didn't bring enough books, and was very adamant that I should have just gone ahead and invested in more books. And I kept trying to bring it back to, well, I can't help that now, so I'm just gonna, yes, but you should have bought more books. That did not help. The same person, bless their heart, I think they were genuinely trying to be helpful. They turned around and there was a teen author, like an actual teenager author, in the same room with me who had a table and was selling their first book, and they had gotten picked up by a publisher, and they were so excited and they were selling it. And I, carried on conversation with them while we were waiting in between, and just talking with them about how long it took. And it took them, I think, about 1.5 years from start to finish. And this person I was talking to was like, that seems like such a short time. I feel like you could write your books faster. This is what, now bear in mind, this same night, last night, I had someone come up to the table, realize, because I had all 4 kids with me and my husband, see all the 4 kids, look at me and ask, how do you do it? How have you written any books with 4 kids? So I got that encouragement on top of someone else being like, comparing me to this teenager who, yes, has a busy life, but doesn't have kids or much responsibility, and being like, you probably could write your books faster. It shouldn't take as long as it does. I think that was probably the reason for the crash, was I got really, like, it popped a hole in my bubble for a minute. But I sulked a bit, and I ate some food, and I watched some movies, and I went to bed, and I feel much better today. So we're going to just put that completely aside and just enjoy the fact that we had a good time and revel in the inspiration that I have found from my stories. So I will see you all tomorrow when I pop back in and let you know what I'm actually doing.
I don't know what to do. Do nothing. What do you mean? Who's dead? It is who?
Happy Saturday, everybody. And I'm a mess, and I apologize, but I just got out of the shower and have made myself a snack, and I'm sitting down to write. It is 4:00 in the afternoon. Yesterday was a busy day. Today was our catch-all day. A little cleaning, a little handyman work. I actually have like little scratches on my arms and my hands from helping with the handyman work, which makes me feel very proud because I'm not very good at that stuff normally. And then a rest in the afternoon, a very long rest in the afternoon because, oh my goodness, I needed it. But now it is 4:00, like I said, and I may or may not have a critique group call in 2 hours or a writer group call, which isn't a problem, except that gives me a very limited amount of time in which to write because I think we're just doing leftovers tonight, but I do have to make sure that everyone has food. So I am going to at least try to get in a little bit of work today, and I will try to bring you along with me. Sorry that the last couple of things haven't had as much like footage of me writing, and I still have not figured out what to do for like music and stuff. So it hasn't all been the best quality vlog. I apologize, but we're just we're figuring things out as we go. So let's get started on the writing while I have time. Also, this is a totally, I'm shaking, sorry. This is a totally random thing, but I still have not put away these guys, like these posters. And I was sitting here looking and I realized I did have several people, I don't remember if I mentioned this, but I had several people who saw this and decided to sign up for the newsletter. So I feel very proud that this cover actually did sell, technically. Like, I mean, it was a free product. But there were people that saw this and thought, ooh, that looks interesting. And then they saw this down here, which is, I don't know if you can see it. It's not a real cover. It's just the title of the book, but in kind of a young adulty, more older fantasy typography. Is that the right word? Font. And they were very curious. So that makes me feel so good that I that I did indeed craft something that people were interested in. So this is the progress we have made so far. We're sitting at 41,986 words, almost 42,000 words. The original manuscript was 51,000, and that's what I signed up with the professional edit for. Okay. I think, friends, that's going to be it for today. And really for this vlog, I have had the most productive week that I have had in months. And it feels so good. It feels so good to have gotten so much done. I still can't believe that I have another work published and out in the world, even if it's not like published, you know. I'm really excited. You know, I think it's been just a good week of hard work and of getting things done. I know as I head into the summer, I'm going to be watching kind of my energy levels throughout work. I do not want to hit another session of burnout. I hit burnout 4 different times last year, and it was rough. Part of it was just, I think, extended emotional burnout because I had been doing so much for so many years without, and like just kind of pushing through to push through because the writing felt good when all of life was chaotic. And this year it's been the writing that's been chaotic. So getting to finally get a bit of a break from that has been very nice. Do you want to get your shake from the window? The 2-year-old is going to join me for the outro. Isn't that right? Yeah. Anyways, overall the week ended up going so well. I'm so excited for all the things that happened, for all the work that got done, and for what I'm set up for over the summer. I'm going to be finishing Beneath the Curse of 6. Oh, bye, honey. I'll see you later. Does the drill still scare you?
Yeah.
Over the summer, I'm going to be working on continuing to finish up Beneath the Curse of 6, getting it off to the publisher. And like I said, I have kind of a secret little side project that's more of a fun project, but has more to it than that. I'm going to, like I said, explain it in another video. And that's going to be a summer project. And then I'm going to just continue to, take a little bit of each of these other projects I have in the back burner. Project Coastlander, I'll probably do a little bit on. Project Dead World, which you may not know about yet, but I'm going to eventually release the footage. Hang on, honey. I'm eventually going to release the footage that explains Project Dead World. There's a whole bunch of other projects that I've been getting little bits and pieces of ideas for over the past month and haven't really had time to sit down and do much work on them. So I'm hoping that as I get closer to the end of the deadline, I'll have a little bit more time. And then, of course, the remaining books in the series. There's 3 more books in the Swan Song series that I've already, written 1. I've almost fully outlined the 3rd. I've got ideas for the 4th. It's a process. I'm so excited, but it is time to be done for now. So thank you so much for joining me in my first vlog back in 2026. I am so happy to be back. I'm so grateful that I took a just calm and gentle, slow start back into vlogging. And to be able to finally piece videos together just feels so good. So I am going to try and at least be doing 1 video a month for the foreseeable future, just to kind of keep things going, keep my inspiration. I know that videos have always helped me to stay inspired and watching and making them. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please make sure to comment. I've missed you guys. I want to know how you're doing. How is your project going? As always, if you liked, do hit the like button. And there's now the hype button so you can help more people find videos like this. And then, of course, if you're not subscribed, I'd love it if you join our community here and subscribe. So all that aside, I love you all very much, and I will see you in my next writing video. Bye.